Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? February 29th, it's a leap year. Did you know that before this morning? I didn't know it was a leap year. I just stumbled across that yesterday, actually. I was looking at the calendar and I said, oh, what the heck? Today is 28, tomorrow is 29. Don't see that very often. Anyways, glad you can make it with me today. We have some data coming out this morning. And I think it's going to be a juicy one. We can see the Euro US dollar already making some moves. Previously, we saw a move to the upside. And this morning, we're seeing a decline. So something is brewing, okay? If you get a chance, hit the like button down below before we get started. I would appreciate that. And it helps to get the this session out to more viewers, all right? So, yeah, look at the euro reacting. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the data that's coming out. We're going to be talking about the S&P. The markets this week have been somewhat weak, so we're going to take a look at those and see what's going on. Plus, we have some stocks that I wanted to pay attention to. Now, I know a lot of you are looking at a stock by the name of Mara. Okay, big mover. And we had earnings that just came out yesterday on that one. And we're going to look at the supply and demand dynamics that came into play. And we're going to look at what took place after earnings. Because one thing you're going to notice when you start studying supply and demand, and if that is what you want to do, and I would recommend that you do that, you're going to see how supply comes into play, demand comes into play, and then whatever the banks are doing with price, whether they're filling in demand or filling in supply, usually the data, the earnings releases will always help to facilitate what the big banks are doing. That's one of the beautiful things about trading supply and demand, is that if you know how to locate the buying and the selling of the big banks, then you don't have to worry about jumping on board in those trades because you will have the power of the banks behind you, all right? So let's start by taking a look this morning at the S&P. So S&P, you can see we made the new highs, and then we're just basically coasting sideways. Let me bring it up on here where my chart analysis is. Here we go. So yesterday we were talking about this chart here. Remember this, the 2-hour chart? With the 2-hour area of demand here, I said watch for this one, because if we can get this area to be removed, then there's a clear move to the downside that could take place. So where we tested it, we moved up yesterday, now we're testing it, okay? So this is what I'm watching for today and tomorrow. We might get some movement actually today because of the data releases, all right? So that's something that I want to point your attention to. All the same dynamics of what we were mentioning yesterday. And if you missed yesterday's episode, please go and watch that one. We went into this chart a little bit more. And just to explain the dynamics of what's taking place and what it leads us to suspect is going to happen with price. Okay. A quick drop into Berkshire Hathaway, because we were also talking about Berkshire Hathaway yesterday. And I was talking about the dynamics of what was taking place on this chart, how we had supply in play. I said, not a good idea to go long when you have supply in play. Only thing you should do if you're willing to trade this stock is to wait for that supply to be taken out, okay? Because the dynamics of what was playing out here, the banks were removing buying areas and creating selling areas. So if they're creating selling areas and removing buying areas, it's not usually a good idea to be looking to be buying, okay? So now they have come in with some more buying right here. Now, the dynamic of the chart is not great. It is good to see that they are coming in with buying. And if I was interested in buying this stock, it'd be from this area here. But I would wait for the long signal to take place, and then I would look to enter, all right? But the dynamic of what's taking place here on the chart is not the greatest, so I'd much prefer to wait for an additional signal or for price to drop a little bit lower to demand zones down below. All right, Bitcoin, massive rally up. Let's switch to this here, where my analysis is. Massive rally up. We got price into this major supply area. And take a look at this 4-hour chart. This is an institutional supply area that I had drawn quite a while back when the supply area was created. And as you can see, price is reacting to it, okay? We had that big spike up here. It dropped back down, back up, down. Another contact, and it is reacting, all right? So far, no big push to the downside, which is quite interesting, which tells me there's a chance that it could remove this area, okay? Just a chance. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but there's a chance that it could remove this area. The only thing going for this area is that this supply is located inside a major area of supply on the monthly chart, okay? And also going back, we have this supply here too. Right here. Let's take a look. See? Major supply area. So if we fast forward, boom, we're just about at that supply area. So again, lots of news out there about Bitcoin making these highs and getting people really excited. Bottom line is there's major supply here, and it's not a good idea to be buying when supply is being contacted. Okay, just a warning. LUNR. Yesterday we saw that reaction from the area of demand that I was pointing out. Okay, push to the upside. Now we're getting a little bit of a push to the downside. Demand is still in play, so we could see another drive to the upside. Otherwise, for shorts, you'd want this demand area to be removed, this 465 area to be taken out. And then I would be looking at taking some shorts. All right, DKNG. This one hit a supply area. So be careful with it because we had a long signal on it quite a while back. Supply has been contacted, so pressure will be to the downside. All right, pressure will be to the downside. So I wouldn't be trading this right now. What I would be doing is I would be reconnecting this trend line here. And there we go. And looking back at price, I don't see any demand here. Okay, I don't see any demand here. We have a basing candle, but this is not demand. Okay, a lot of people online who profess to teach you how to trade supply and demand, they would look at, imbalances like that and they would say it's demand. And there's a very specific way to determine whether something is demand or not. And if you are drawing this as demand when it's not, you're going to find yourself in trouble. All right. And I'll tell you why. Because the difference between that being demand and not demand is if this is demand, the dynamics, if this is demand, the dynamics of what's taking place here would be telling us that this would probably be a very good area to be buying, okay? If it's not demand, then the dynamics is telling you this is not a good area to be buying, and any type of momentum to the upside that's taking place now is not something that we would care to engage with, all right? And, it's likely that price will drop. Price can even go down to this ascending trend line where retail traders will be looking at buying, and then instead of the push up, we can see a push down. So it's something that I'm not very excited about trading right now. Major supply in play. I'm going to wait for it to drop, and then I'll take a look at it at another time. AMC, remember AMC? We were talking about this. It was peaking up off of this area of demand around the 450, 440 area. We got a push to the upside. It was strong, very strong yesterday. Look at that candle. It gapped up and it's closing up near the highs. So watching to see if that's going to continue to the upside. Mara, big one. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. So when you look at Mara and you see this big rally up, you can see that there was a buying area that was created here. Okay, right here. This is where big players were buying the stock at around $16. It contacted supply, dropped back down. They filled in the rest of their orders, went from 16 and doubled in just a matter of weeks. Pretty incredible. That's why a lot of people are interested in this stock, okay? Hit the like button down below if you get a chance. I'd appreciate that. That's why a lot of people got interested in buying this one. It removed this area of supply, and then something happened right up here, okay? Right before earnings. Well, I'll tell you what happened. If you take a look at this chart here, you'll see exactly what happened. Price came into an institutional supply area. Every supply, every demand has its role, and it will play out in the movement of price. And isn't it interesting how price came into a supply area, earnings were positive, and yet price dropped, okay? The reason why price dropped was because supply came into play, all right? Same thing. If earnings were negative, it would still drop. Earnings positive, it still drops. Why? Because the road that price was on does not change because of the earnings releases. It still plays out in the same manner, okay? That's a big advantage, you know, because you search online, you go through social media, and you see what a lot of people were posting regarding Mara, and leading into earnings, a lot of people were thinking, oh, you know, I hope it's going to go up. Oh, I hope it's going to do this. Well, if you would have been studying the supply and demand dynamic of what was taking place, you would realize that with supply in play, the bias was that price was likely going to drop. And so that is what's taking place now. All right. I think there's more upside that could be had here, but that area of supply needs to be addressed and removed first, and then we'll see more upside. CRM. This one's an interesting one. They came out with earnings. Okay, that was last night. Positive. But if you look at where price is on the monthly chart, you'll see it's inside supply. Okay. If you look at where price is on the weekly chart, you will see it's inside supply. So massive supply being hit, and earnings come out positive. You know what that usually tells me? Be careful. Because if the big players want to take profits, this is exactly how they would do that. Okay. Same thing with Berkshire Hathaway. You saw what happened there. Price comes into a massive area of supply, and then lo and behold, earnings come out positive. So guess who's buying? A lot of people are buying. So usually what happens is the banks are there, the big players are there to offload their positions to those that are so eager to be buying. All right. BBY, Best Buy. This one's coming out with earnings this morning. So positive earnings this morning. And where are we? Price gaps up. Interesting. Not too surprised. We have significant buying that has been taking place here in the 68s. Okay. All down here. This is significant buying. The first push up, look where it landed. Okay. Do you understand what's going on here? The first push up from buying landed in supply. So then they dropped price back down. The next time they started buying, it only took them up to this area. Then they pushed price back down. Then they started with their buying again, and now we have positive earnings, and price is gapping up. I think we're very likely going to make a move up towards the $90 area here, and that's where we're going to come into some supply. But this supply has already been tested in the past here, so I expect it to eventually erode through that, and then price make a move even higher. Okay, PLTR. This is one that has been on my watch list for some time now. We got some big moves that have been coming in, and we got positive earnings that just was released not too long ago. Interesting how positive earnings came into play after significant buying came into play here. Right here, okay? This was a very, very strong area of buying. If you take a look at the weekly chart, this is what I'm talking about. This is a strong buying area that was created by the big players. And they reversed price, started loading up on shares, and then earnings came out, which were, of course, positive, and then we got the price shooting to the upside. So as you can see, price is pausing now because we're hitting supply, okay? And we got that little drop to the downside, and then we're looking for a move back to the upside. So I think this is good. I think once this weekly area of supply gets taken out, it's clear sailing for this one to go even higher. All right. But I wouldn't be interested in buying unless either that weekly got taken out or we got a significant drop and then momentum starts to build back to the upside. All right. Maybe down to this area somewhere would be interesting. Okay. So something to watch for. Let me make that a key zone. There you go. TJX. Wanted to go through this one because this one is just on fire. You know TJX, they own the Winners and Marshalls and stuff like that. Those shops are popular. Very popular. I don't know about you, but you ever go into a Marshalls or a Winners? Those things are incredible. I mean, I love Winners. I love Marshalls whenever I go down to the States. Really good stores, always popular, always busy. I don't see any reason why this stock would not continue upwards. And so we just had earnings come out, and it was great. Good news. We had a buy zone on the monthly chart that price is reacting to. That was at $86. And we're now in the hundreds. So I'm watching for this one to give us some kind of a pullback, and then I'd like to jump on board. The industrial sector, incredible. This one is just like steamrolling through everything, and we're seeing a lot of pressure to the upside. I believe we're going to be seeing more pressure to the upside. All the chart dynamics are telling me that price is going to continue higher. What I'd like is for price to go a little bit higher and pause, and then retrace down to about this area here. And then I'd be looking to jump on board. Okay. Kind of what I've been thinking. GBTC, quite impressive. This one, from the lows, we went from $8 to $50. This one moves a bit stronger and harder than the actual price of Bitcoin. This has been the first ETF of Bitcoin, and the largest ETF representing Bitcoin. So if you're interested in trading Bitcoin and you don't know how to get involved, you don't want to actually buy the actual Bitcoin, this one's a good one. And from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's removing this area of supply. I'm going to watch to see how this month closes, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good. If we get consolidation up here in price and then a drop, this could jet to the upside like mad. So I'm going to be watching this one very closely because if it does that, I'll be looking to trade it. And then Euro, before the news comes out, we have retail traders offloading their positions. They were at 77% around here. They dropped them down to 65%. So there's no strong bias with respect to the positions of retail traders right now. So it's too early to determine what's going to happen. I'm going to watch the news, the data coming out in about 12 minutes, and then I'll see the reaction. I think it's too early to tell exactly what price is going to do. I have a bias to the downside, but we'll wait and see. It's too early. Once it starts building momentum and it starts doing a few things that I'm watching for, then we can get a little bit more excited. And then US dollar, Japanese yen, still holding that area of demand. This is our magic zone where we expected price to hold and move to the upside. So I'm going to be watching that one. This is a nice drop that we got here. I might be interested in buying this back up again with stop losses below demand. We'll see. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hope you got something out of this. And if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button down below. If you are getting something from this analysis, then it'd be nice of you to share it with your friends, share it with other members. But just hitting the like button is great too, because that way other people will get this on their feed. And I'd appreciate the support. All right. That's it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. You take care of yourself, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.